Is Laura loving all the attention? Like, is there something that we're not seeing here when it comes to Laura's relationship with Birkan and also Michael? Is she in a position for the first time in her life where she's got two men that she believes wants her? So really and truly, she's actually playing them off each other to see which one is going to win the battle for her. Now, this is something that has been brought to my attention, which is why I'm now bringing it to your attention. A very interesting twist. So let's find out what's been said here. So on this post, Birkan is being gaslit. Interesting. This person says that Laura, she's over here loving the attention of these two men to the point it's intoxicating for her. All the while telling Birkan the classic, we're just friends. Some of us know that line very, very well. A bit too well. I used to like her before I watched this last episode. Now I see why she is her age and still single. She is toxic, and that's what makes her gross. So do you agree with this statement? Do you agree with this point of view? That Laura is actually the problem? That, to be fair, maybe we can say that this whole time, us, the audience, us, the viewers, us, the people that make the opinions, maybe we haven't been reality ready to recognize that Laura's actually the problem, and we've all been moving mad thinking that she wasn't. Interesting take, isn't it? Let's see what some of the responses were on these posts. This whole interaction felt like a mum introducing a new boyfriend to her son, and the son was very against the new boyfriend. Maybe it's due to the large age gap, but that's the vibes I got from all of it. Now that makes things even more spicy. Can you imagine? That's exactly the dynamic, and I didn't even realize it. Surprised Michael didn't call him sport or offer to get him a baseball card. To be fair, Michael did say, do the boys make the tea here? And Birkan did say to him that we're men. Men don't say boys. We are called men. And to be fair, even when you take into account the TV scene when he goes to him, so Michael goes to him, so do you like American movies? Old American movies? And Birkan's like, no, I just like mob boss films with violence. Do you like violence? Literally like a young boy trying to intimidate the new boyfriend that mum has just brought home. So to be fair, I do see this perspective. There's a lot of sense behind it. But does it still go back to the question that is here? Is Laura actually really trying to play these two men off? Is she really just enjoying the attention that she's getting from having these two men in her life? And that's why she is actually behaving the way she is behaving? That's something that I would definitely like to know your thoughts and your opinions on, my lovely people. Okay? So, let me know. Do you think we have been blind and we have been moving mad by not seeing this perspective? Let me know your thoughts. But now we're going to dive into the next one. Now, of course, we spoke about Kimberly. Now, other people have come in with a very interesting very interesting opinions regarding Kimberly herself. So as you can see here, this person says, Kim doesn't have a preference. She has a standard. So they begin by saying, I could not find anything wrong with this guy. He was funny, well-mannered, and thought of a good date for Kimberly. Plus, he is a MJ fan, that being Michael Jackson, like Kim too. So I don't see why she wouldn't want a second date. But she has a standard, not a preference. People confuse the two often. A preference is you have a preference for vanilla ice cream. But if there's only chocolate ice cream or caramel ice cream, you will still eat it because, well, it's ice cream. And you like ice cream in general. A standard would be walking out of a shop because they don't have your standard, which is vanilla ice cream. This is exactly what is happening to Kim. The whole short king insults are just a red herring. Soulja Boy wasn't tall at all. I did say this. Her standard is younger. This is what we spoke about in the previous video. Yes, younger men. She already has the hots for Josh and is still looking to bang him because he's younger. That has always been her attraction. Even the other bang buddy in the hotel wasn't tall, but he was younger. That is Kim's standard. Does anybody have anything to disagree with here? Because to be fair, I will say, based on what I said in the previous video, this is basically the same thing that I said, but just in a different way. But this is a strong point. It's a solid point. But let's dive into what some of the people had to say in reaction to this. I think her standard is a type that she hasn't healed from in her past. That I agree. I mean, he's a black man, so yeah. Of course, this man can absolutely do better. She likes the type of guy who won't take her out on a date in public, but will call her at 2 a.m. when the bars close and no one else wants to hook up. She also likes the kind of guy who is also short on money or forget his wallet when it comes to time to pay. Basically, she wants any young guy that she has no love or respect for her, but will hit it. And to be fair, I get what this person is saying. She basically she wants a vulnerable young man. She likes men that she thinks are vulnerable enough to want to fall for her, which is a reflection of her own self-esteem. And that does make sense, and we're going to elaborate that in a minute. Let me finish this sentence here. Basically, she wants any young guy that has no respect or respect for her, no love or respect for her, but will hit it. It's gross. She wonders why she doesn't have love in her life. Meanwhile, we all know why she doesn't have love in her life. Now, let's really talk about this. Let's really elaborate on this. Like I said before, and as we all know, Kimberly has a history of going to marry a guy that was in prison who was literally around the ages of 19 or something like that. This is a man that she saw as vulnerable. That makes so much sense. Then also when it comes to Usman, now has a stereotypical American, she probably saw him as a man in Africa that maybe wants to find his way to America, so therefore he is vulnerable. So it makes sense why she would have gone for Usman in that situation. Okay. Now the man that we saw the one time, B-man, he looked like a guy that probably doesn't have too much going for himself. He looked like it. I'm not saying he doesn't, but it looked like it. So he does look like a man. I mean, it's definitely clear that he's a man that likes to hop from one woman to another. He doesn't like to keep them at a range of relationships. He likes to keep them at a range of, let me just smash you and you can disappear. That behavior tells me that he's definitely one of those men who has very low value for himself because, well, his actions show it. So of course, he's also somebody that is a vulnerable person that she thinks that maybe this person's going to fall for her. It does make sense. There is a pattern when it comes to these men. Now, to be fair, when it comes to Josh, I promise you now, the only reason why she isn't sleeping or doing anything with Josh, it's not because he's friends with her son. No, it's because Josh isn't a vulnerable man. It's just that simple. She likes the idea of flirting with him just for a little bit of bants, but if Jamal did not exist and Josh was just just there, she wouldn't even bother, because she'd be like, well, this man has got a job, he's got a family, he's got all these things that make him not vulnerable to the same type of vulnerability that she likes to look for. So of course, this whole Josh thing is just an act, nothing but an act. Because let's be real, is she the kind of person that would not sleep with a man just because he's friends with her son? Let's let that one sink in. Because look at it this way. When her son Jamal warned her about Usman not being a good match for her, did she listen to her son? No, she didn't. She still wanted to pursue him regardless. So if she wouldn't listen to her son when he was telling her that this man isn't good for you, then why would she care about her son being friends with a man that she's attracted to? Do you see what I'm saying? And also on top of that, Josh just wouldn't even go there because she's not his type. Let's just call a spade a spade. We've seen the women that he goes for. Kimmy's not in that category. Come on now, let's be realistic, yeah? So really and truly, there is a pattern here. And also with this man here that she went on a date with, this is a man that is well-mannered. A man that carries himself very, very well. So it does make sense. The question is though, will Kimberly ever be reality ready to recognize that she keeps going for the same type of men, and this is why she's single? And is she ever going to realize that these men, regardless of how vulnerable they may seem, they're not vulnerable enough to ever want to fall, to actually want to be with her? In fact, They may be vulnerable, but they still have the senses to know that they can simply just use you for whatever the hell they want to use you for. So it does make sense why this person says that she has a standard rather than a preference, but clearly her standard is flawed massively. So do you believe there should ever be reality ready to recognize these things? Or do you think she'll be forever moving mad? Let me know in the comment section. Interesting. So now we're going to dive into the next part of this video. Now this one here is an interesting one. You see, this one here is regarding Liz herself in particular. Let's dive into this. There we go. I'm here now. So, people are mad at Julia. I am actually convinced people do watch my stuff now, because a lot of the times I'm seeing some of these threads and I'm like, hold on a minute, this is what I pointed out. But I could be lying. But I could just be in my head. But anyway, I am mad at Julia. Let's talk about it. Am I the only one mad at Julia for this? Sophie and Julia are aware that Liz has been battling cancer and that she can't handle stress. Instead of having an adult conversation with Liz to understand what truly what truly transpired, Sophie chose to yell at her. Julia is no better. She could have spoken to Liz but didn't. Liz expressed that her fear of dying due to cancer and her reluctance to fight. Julia simply gets up to check on Sophie, doesn't ask about Liz's well-being or feelings, and leaves her at the table. Yes, this is what I said to you folks, right? Liz starts to cry, gets up to leave, and when they see her again, they yell at her to leave and get in the cab. I couldn't believe these women were so cruel to a cancer survivor. Technically speaking, she's not actually a cancer survivor as of yet, because she is still going through cancer. In fact, she is now in a position where I believe she's waiting to have a surgery for her ovarian cancer. So to be fair, she's not necessarily an actual survivor yet. So she is still somebody that is still in this very tough position, who simply wants to enjoy a vacation with her friends. I feel so sorry for Liz and wanted nothing more than to hug her in the moment. Julia, be a better friend. But I think, to be honest with you, this really highlights that Julia clearly isn't friends with Liz. Clearly that she's friends with Sophie. Clearly that her loyalties are to Sophie. But to be fair though, does this surprise me? If we look at the character of Julia and we look at the character of Sophie, it makes sense why they are friends. If you look at the character of Liz, it doesn't make sense why Liz would ever be friends with any one of those two women. It doesn't make any sense in any shape or form. Let's talk about it. Now, let's have a look what people have had to say here. Someone comes in and says, I thought it was so big of Liz to just apologize, even though the way Sophie pitched was absurdly incorrect. Unfortunately, Liz rolling over and apologizing like the bigger person backfired because Sophie is toxic. Huge red flag when someone gets more upset after an apology. Feel bad for Rob now. Yes, and I was thinking that's not even what she said. We saw the conversation and she didn't even say anything bad about Sophie. The whole thing is crazy. Sophie is just blaming Liz because Pedro got sick of her acting cold, so he pulled away. That's it. But you see, when it comes to taking accountability, is that something that Sophie can ever do? And that's where we bring the question, will Sophie ever be reality ready? Probably never. She's somebody that will probably always be moving mad. This person says, this made me so angry. Sophie is insufferable and straight up a bitch. Julia just follows her around like a lost puppy. Just got her head so up Sophie's ass. Poor Liz. I do wish Liz explained herself better. But here's the thing though. Did Liz even have to explain herself? Was Liz even meant to be in a position of explaining herself? No. Because Pedro straight up lied. But I understand in the moment she was completely caught off guard. You see, here's the thing. Let's make it a bit more spicy here. Sophie got upset with Liz because Liz had a conversation with Pedro. Prior to Liz having a conversation with Pedro, Sophie told Liz and Julia about how much she wants her relationship with Pedro to be slowly because she doesn't want to commit to him just yet. She wants to keep him at a distance. She's doing it on purpose. She's aware of her actions. Sophie also went and told Pedro that our relationship right now is just getting to know each other, but we can still get to know other people. What's the point of making here? Well, Sophie did all of these things. So tell me one thing. If Sophie knew that she wasn't necessarily ready to fully commit to Pedro and she was still testing the waters and still exploring other fishes in the sea, then why the hell would she believe a man that she's unsure about over a friend that she knows? Because here's the thing. We know that Pedro, when he went and told Sophie what he told Sophie, he spun it in his own way. But Sophie didn't have to believe him, didn't have to take his side. She could have been like, oh, are you sure that's what my friend said? My friend Liz? I don't think she would say that. In that time, that's when Sophie could have gone, hey, I just had a conversation with Pedro, and he was telling me that you said all these things. Can you explain to me, please? Let me know what's going on here. But no, she was upset with the fact that she lost the power of her thumb the power of her thumb in control over Pedro. She was upset that the whip that she had, that she was using to control Pedro, was now gone. The power that she possessed was now gone. She was more upset about losing the power than she was about actually processing that maybe Pedro wasn't telling the full truth. That she should really and truly go have a conversation with her friend. And also, if she knows Liz, she would know that her friend would never do such a thing to her. But maybe Sophie has a history of having friends that will always stab her in the back. And we know how Sophie likes to always drag trauma from the past and bring it into the new life. That part. So let me know, folks. Do you believe Sophie will ever be reality ready? Or will she forever be moving mad? And also, on top of this, Julia. What's your thoughts on Julia? I still don't know why she's here. Was you also mad at Julia? Was you also infuriated by Julia? Let me know your thoughts. Because boy, Julia really went and exposed herself. But like I said, even if Julie isn't necessarily friends with Liz, she's more friends with Sophie, she still doesn't excuse their behavior. But it is what it is. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section and we can talk about it. Don't forget to like, hype the video, comment, subscribe. Thank you so much.